I'm here with Amir Azer on the Get Busy podcast here in Seattle. This is our first time in Seattle.
Welcome to Seattle.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been beautiful, beautiful weather. I was promised rain. It has been only sunshine and blue skies.
You guys brought the sunshine.
Yeah, no, it's just absolutely gorgeous here. And you are a lounge owner.
Correct. I own Xtadium Lounge,
Xtadium Lounge. And it's been here in Seattle for a while. So you're an entrepreneur, right, in Seattle. You're very much a part of the scene, right, in Seattle. Yes. But you also have a big part of your career and life giving back to children and also animals. But let's talk about Xtadium, the lounge, because the lounge/bar business is one of the most difficult businesses to sustain.
Definitely
as an entrepreneur. So let's talk about your story, Amir.
So yeah, I've been doing it for 28 years now.
At
Xtadium I've owned for I've had for 9 years with my brothers. But yeah, so Xtadium has been, it was I came in with that after I was a part of a partnership with some other venues before, and came up with a creative idea of making not just a lounge, but making it also a sports lounge during the day and converting it into a night lounge at nighttime where we could have DJs come out.
And it's kind of a scene, right? The nighttime part of Xtadium.
Definitely is. Yeah, I mean, we get a good younger crowd in there during the nighttime, and I've been fortunate to have a great staff that's relevant in the scene and knows exactly how to get the crowd out.
And how do you get the crowd out right now? And how do you, when you've got these young kids waiting in line, right, for the lounge part of Xtadium, how do you stay relevant in that industry?
It's a lot of work. I mean, we only have that 1%, chance of making it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so it's been very tough. We made it through COVID. That was a tough time. And staying relevant is just, staying in the scene, being a part of the community. We do a lot of community work. So that keeps us very relevant in the scene also. It's very, helpful that the community sees that we give back and we reach out to the community and help out in any way we can. We support kids, animals, things of that nature.
Yeah. All the stories I read about you, it's pictures of you with either kids or animals, right? There's no bar scenes really of you. It's all you out in the community. And you were just saying, you have a great staff and they get the people in. How do you get the people into the bars these days?
Keeping it fun, entertaining.
But is it like marketing? Is it social media?
Yeah, social media is a big part of getting the crowd out. I mean, we use TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any outlet of promotion, Snapchat, whatever we can to get the word out. And we have a good promo team of people that actually help us out that have, big following. And we make our place fun and very Instagrammable. Yeah. If you call it that. So, people love taking pictures, and by taking those pictures and videos, they're also helping us promote the venue.
Exactly. And so, having a bar or a lounge, sports bar by day, lounge by night, it's an aspirational thing. And a lot of people, a lot of startups, a lot of entrepreneurs want to start a bar. What is your advice to them? Is it run away, don't do it? Or is it
that's the first thing I tell them.
Right. It just sounds terrible.
All my athlete friends and my celebrity friends that ask me, hey, I want to open up a bar. First thing I try doing is sit down for a couple hours and just lecture them on why not to do it.
Right. But what keeps you in it, though? There must be something.
I've been doing it for 28 years, right? And I've been successful. I've watched a lot of people come into the industry and go. So it's pretty frightening, knowing that my competitors are going out of business also.
Yeah.
But my only advice is you got to be ready for the journey and be ready for
the ups and downs
of, it's not, every day is not going to be a good day. And be prepared for that, right? So anything
can happen.
Yeah, anything.
Right?
There's so many different things that could happen, and I don't want to jinx, but somebody gets hurt, anything could happen.
COVID, right?
COVID
Let's
could
talk
happen.
about that. How did you come back from COVID, and how did you iterate after COVID?
So when COVID first happened, I had already had an idea of what you should do to operate a place under a pandemic, because I was really into a TV show about a pandemic. So right when the pandemic hit, actually, I was setting a standard for how you can operate under a pandemic rules. So that means...
This is before COVID.
No, this is right when COVID hit.
Okay.
So when COVID hit, the first week, I already knew that we were going to have to separate people. People weren't going to be able to gather the same way that they were accustomed to. So immediately I had my team come out, build sectioned off areas so you could still host birthday parties. You just would do it in a new type of way, right? So we built areas. We kept the place super sanitized, followed all the protocols of COVID, making sure, we never broke any rules, because health department definitely was watching over everything. So it was pretty tough, but we followed all the rules and we made it through, and we did it successfully. And a lot of people told me that it was never going to change, and this is just what the new norm is going to be. And I kind of had the idea that it would go back to gathering.
Do you still do, like, when COVID was over and the restrictions were lifted, did business return to exactly how it was before, or did it forever change the way you do business in the bar industry?
Immediately after, it actually was really well. It was doing very well because people just wanted to get back out.
Yeah.
They were just so stuck at home, done with being at home, being stuck, and we did very well right after COVID. I'm pretty sure most bars did too, but then it stabilized. And it went back to I feel like the numbers went a little bit less than pre-COVID.
Right.
But, we still maintained. We just made adjustments on staffing and payroll and things of that nature to make sure that we could survive, going into the future.
Yeah. Okay. So you brought it up. So I'm just going to ask. All right, payroll, staffing, right? This is the shit that people don't talk about when you have a bar or a restaurant, right? And that's scaling, right, your business to meet where you are financially, right? Talk about how you, not just during COVID, but even right now, right? Like how is it the most challenging part of your business?
Yeah,
it is,
definitely is. Yeah, because I see a lot of bar owners, they don't scale, right? So they just keep running with a lot of the older bars, especially owners, they just stick with what they already accustomed to. If they had 43 employees before, they're keeping their 43 employees. If they ran,
because that's the way it's
always been done. If they operated from 10 a.m. till 2 a.m., they're going to keep the same hours just because that's, I figured out that, hey, let's cut the hours that you might not need to be open, right? Let's, bring payroll down as much as possible. Like if we can't facilitate having that many employees, who can we keep and who do we not need, So to just meet the demands of what's going on today.
Yeah, and that's probably why you're still in business, right? You cannot, that would be like something the government would do, right? Like just not scaling for the size of the revenue, right? The income of a venture. So
that becomes most people's,
and that causes you to go out of business. You'll flop upside down financially.
Our payroll was, obviously pre-COVID was up there. It was a lot, right? So I had to just, make some tweaks and changes and say, hey, it's maybe we're not getting as much, revenue as we were. We're still getting the same amount of people. Maybe they're just not spending the same amount.
Right. Maybe they're not drinking as much. Yeah.
So I just scaled it down and, made it to customize it to what today's market is, not yesterday's market.
Right. And that's just really good business. And I think that people who haven't worked in, restaurant entertainment, probably don't know that. And so I don't know the Seattle economy that well. I dig the culture though. It's a really cool place.
Right.
But are there, like, how is a restaurant business, like, what are the high points in the economy? Like, what are the macro forces that make your business really good?
I mean, food it's got a very small margin, right?
Yeah.
So it's very tough just to make money if you're just selling food.
Right.
And Seattle people are a really dive bar kind of crowd, right?
Oh, really?
So being a big lounge, it's a little bit different for the city, right? So we make money off our alcohol, right? Sales, and we do have food, but if we're just depending only on the food, we would be in trouble, right? And so yeah, it's a lot of selling alcohol, and we have a unique way of.
And you have like the VIP, yeah.
And we have the whole, celebrate your birthday with us, bring signs out, we give you more entertainment than just handing you a drink off the bar, right?
Right. There's like a whole experience, I think, from what, like this is the first time we've spoken, so I've read about Xtadium and sort of your approach is very experiential, right? It's not just like, not a bar. It's like you go there for an event. It's like a destination, right?
And we make it so people want to celebrate their special days, from their bachelorette parties to their birthday parties, any kind of celebration they have, right?
Right.
New job, they've got a raise, and we'll celebrate that with them.
Right.
And make them feel like, bring out that joy in them to celebrate.
Exactly. And like earlier when we first sat down, you said, we're Instagrammable, right? Like, what does that mean? Do you have like a booth? Like, if you're an Instagrammable restaurant or bar, like, what is that?
Like I said, right? When you got the, our crew coming out with the signs and things of that nature.
Right.
It
just like photogenic.
It makes people want to video it.
Yeah.
Right. And in this day and age, if you're not Instagrammable, then you're not successful.
Yeah.
And most of the bars and restaurants that are Instagrammable are the ones that are going to stay in business the longest, because then you got people, from TikTokers that want to come and experience your food and show it off, right? And it's about the customers showing off their experience, right?
Yeah.
And having celebrities come through, and they're so excited about the experience that they're like, hey, I want to post it.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. That's being Instagrammable, making sure the background is, super fun, colorful, making sure our logo's all over the place so they can capture our image inside of their videos and pictures.
And it's just like free marketing, right? Like it's social media is such a, it's great, and it also is really frightening because there's a lot of haters out there too, and that can be very damaging to restaurants and bars. And so how do you deal with the haters, the trolls, the bad reviews? How do you?
We're fortunate enough to be the highest rated lounge in Seattle as far as Google and Yelp goes. Most bars and restaurants in our genre have about a three-star rating or below. We have a 4.1 star.
Wow.
On Google, 1,000 reviews. That's not just a couple of reviews. We got 1,000 review plus. So yeah, it's tough, not getting hated on. Right?
Yeah, everybody gets,
you've gotta try to be as likable as possible.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
the best you can be.
Yeah, and put your best foot forward in this industry, or you will get a lot of haters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And trying to make sure that the customer's experience is always a good experience. Because if the customers leave with a bad experience, they're definitely going to go straight to Google and Yelp and talk about their experience, right? Yeah. If they have a good experience, they're going to talk about a good experience. But they're more likely to talk about a bad experience.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, that's just human nature, because you're mad, right? And you just want to say something.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your background, right? How did this all happen? Did you grow up thinking, I am going to have a lounge in Seattle and I will call it Xtadium?
Definitely not.
Okay, that's good, right?
I started out just doing street promotions for record labels from Interscope, Universal, just, back in the 90s, passing out promo materials, and then doing a lot of house parties and college parties and stuff like that. And
so you were kind of in the culture going into the thing. Okay.
Going into it, and then I just one day decided, you know what, let's give it a try, and put on some.
Did you have partners going into this, or
yeah, yeah. Originally I did, but they didn't stuck. Obviously it's a tough business for people to want to stick around and be in it, because you have a lot of ups and downs, like you said before, right? Yeah. So keeping partnerships is definitely a tough thing to do, but I've always, I'm the kind, just like a horse, I've got my blinders on. I don't try to veer off to like what most entrepreneurs do, right? The thing is most entrepreneurs, their biggest mistake is they get something super successful and then they just veer off to 20 other things, right? Or even 2 other things, So it's like sticking to what I was good at, which was, doing promotions and, nightlife and entertainment, and just sticking to that. Yeah. And just pounding it to the ground, until I became successful. It took a lot of trial and error. I've had bars before this that were successful and then also failed. Yeah. So, keeping a bar restaurant open for 9 years is definitely.
I mean, I read that, and it's just kind of like, it's kind of amazing. It's 1 year short of a decade. Right. Right. Not that many bars and restaurants can say that. I mean, I think about growing up in the 90s, right, in Dallas. Dallas was, in the 90s, it was all clubs, right? It was all clubs. But they were like fly by night, right? Like one day it would be Confetti's, and then it would close. The next day it would be Start Club, right? Remember that place, right? They made it was so bad they made a documentary about the Start Club. But what is the secret sauce to having a bar or any kind of restaurant for 9 years, almost 10 years?
A lot of entrepreneurs try to, come into industry and do shortcuts. Yeah. And do a lot of stuff they shouldn't be doing, shady business that, you shouldn't be doing, and just not, engaging with their customers, making sure that you have a safe environment for the customers. Yeah. There's so many different things that could happen in this industry, right?
What about employee retention? Yeah. Right? It seems like that is something that is very, like, how do you manage that part of your business?
It's, busy job trying to make sure that we keep, that door open, and recruiting at all times. So, in this industry, it's hospitality. People aren't going to stick around forever. Right. I mean, I do have a few on my team, that have been around for a long time. And keeping them happy is my goal, right? And making sure that they're taken care of, but knowing that still I'm going to have a revolving door.
Yeah. And it's just the nature of the industry.
So you've got to be ready to recruit at all times, especially in this industry. If you're
Do you have like an HR department that does the recruit? Like, how do you manage recruiting?
I mean, I got a team that does the recruiting, and I work with my management team to make sure that we get the best of the best. Yeah. Just, keeping ourselves at the top tier allows us to have more of a demand, because their bar just shut down. Now they're unemployed, right? Yeah. So it's like, we have never had a problem with recruiting new people. Yeah,
and that says a lot about the business.
And making sure that the employees are currently with me are happy.
Yeah, and safe.
And safe, so they'll help us recruit new people, right? By just word of mouth, like, hey, he's a great boss. Yeah. Right? That goes a long way, right? Yeah. Being a good boss goes a long way. Making sure that the team is taken care of, and you don't put management there that, too harsh or just rude and mean. I've had that in the past where, you have the wrong management. Yeah. And now you're scaring off all your employees, and they're never going to, tell their friends, hey, there's a great place to work. They're going to be like, that manager, definitely not a good person. Or, owner's a great guy, but management sucks.
Not good. Yeah.
So making sure management is always good and staying on top of them to keep them, engage with the employees, because me personally as the owner, I don't like to engage with the employees directly. Yeah. Just because in this industry, you'll learn that the direct engagement with your employees is
dangerous.
Very dangerous.
It's very risky.
Very risky, Yeah. he said this, he did that.
Yep.
So I draw that line. My employees all know that. I love them to death, but don't call me.
Right.
Don't email me. Don't write me.
Don't text
me.
Don't stalk me.
Yeah, don't try to directly speak to me about anything related to the business. If you want to say hello to me, that's great.
Yeah.
But as far as
that's really good advice.
Yeah, that's one of the main advice I could give to any entrepreneur that wants to get into this industry is don't party with your employees.
Just don't party with your employees no matter where you are.
You are, right? I see a lot of people doing employee parties and everybody's getting wasted and super uncomfortable, man.
Yeah.
Like in this day and age with all the cell phones and all the
pictures images, like video.
You want to do something nice for your employees, give them a bonus.
Right. Exactly.
Do something nice for them, right?
I can't believe people still party with their employees.
I see so many businesses do it, and I just watch them and I'm like, you are walking in risky territory.
Nothing good comes from a boss, alcohol, and all the people who work for this boss.
No.
Right?
No.
Like it just is, it doesn't matter.
It's bad news.
Industry you're
in. Because
right?
you could create yourself a nice lawsuit.
Right.
On a day off.
Yep.
Or an employee has to get fired on a day off.
Exactly.
Keep your employees. See them at the workplace, because you might be accustomed to how they act at the workplace, but once they put on their regular outfits and they're outside of the workplace,
you just don't know.
You don't know who they are, right?
Right. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You don't need to.
I don't. You definitely.
Right?
That's a part you just.
Yeah. Oh my God, we sound like such old people, right? Like.
Yeah, I mean, a seasoned person.
Right, yeah.
That's what I call it. Experience, right? I mean, I used to do it in the past. We'd rent a house and go out on a vacation, and by the time we got back, it was just like, he did this or he said this to me. Employees, intertwining. Same thing goes at my places. I advise all my employees, this is a workplace. It's professional. If you guys want to have any kind of friendship, that's okay with me, but there's lines that need to be drawn, especially between the female and male employees, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think about, I don't know. I think this topic has never come up on this podcast before, where it's like, if you are a founder and you want to be the boss lady,
right?
I cannot overstate how important it is to not party with the people who work for you, right?
You think the guys that own Coca-Cola or these major
the big corporations
like they're not. You couldn't say, oh, I know my boss. You might have seen him on TV. You might have seen him walk through the factory,
right?
But he's not taking you out on a
and
not
on a party barge.
And they're not doing that, right? So that's one of my biggest advice to entrepreneurs is really watch the grounds you're walking on.
Yeah, be professional.
Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna stay successful for a long period of time, or you'll end up having to deal with a lot of nightmares.
You're not gonna make it. Like if you don't, like, that is such a basic tenet.
Even same shit with partnerships. Your partners are not your friends; they're your partners.
Yep, that is the other thing people do not understand about, like, do not go into business with your friends.
That's the worst idea ever.
Do not do it, right?
All my friends come up to me and they're like, oh, I want to go into business. Especially my, athlete and celebrity friends, they're like, let's do business. I want to invest into your stuff. And I'm just like, I'd rather keep your friendship.
Right.
I could go to a bank for a loan.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So when you're, it's perfectly fine to have a partner in business.
Right.
But you have to have agreements in place.
And the same hustle.
Right.
If they don't understand the hustle that it takes, then you're just signing yourself up for a nightmare, right? Like they're in a totally different industry and now you want to make them a partner. How do they know what you do on your day in and day out?
Right.
How do they know what should be allocated for marketing? That right there in itself is just like having to make those phone calls. Hey, we're going to spend a ton of money on this. Like right now, I just had to make a decision on an event for tomorrow.
Oh,
right.
Kind of last minute.
Super last minute, right? And it's going to take a lot of money to do the event, right? We got staffing, entertainment, advertisement, having to explain that to somebody that doesn't know.
Yeah. You don't have a partner right now, right?
No.
I just think sometimes it's better, right? But if you're an entrepreneur or founder going into any business really, and you need to have a partner, like as an operator or as a financier, get an agreement in place.
Right.
Get an operating agreement,
right.
and get your partnership agreement,
yeah,
right?
The only person I have that I actually call a partner is she handles all my marketing, and she handles, she helped me open up the place, right? But financial, obviously, I keep it to just myself making all the financial decisions and stuff like that.
I just think sometimes it's easier. I've been burned in partnerships too.
Yeah, because they think you're, friends and stuff, right? So a lot of bad decisions could be made, and
emotions run high.
Right?
Right, like if you have this emotional connection to someone, and this is business, and when you mix emotion and business,
business is business.
It's a powder keg. Yeah,
this ain't friendship.
It's not.
This is not a friendship. This is not, hey bro, it's hey partner, what's going on? And if it's not like I'm closed off to having a partnership in the future, but it definitely would be, with somebody that has the same hustle, same drive, just like, my small partnership that I have right now, right? They understand exactly what's going on.
Exactly. So, for people who are watching you and going, oh my God, Xtadium, the Xtadium dude, is on the Get Busy podcast. What words of inspiration, right? We talked about why you shouldn't get it. Like,
right.
Why should somebody consider going into this industry as an entrepreneur?
It's if you got the hustle, and it's like this, right? Michael Jordan makes basketball look easy.
Yeah.
And a ball only costs how much? Anybody could go to a store and buy a basketball. Doesn't make you Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
A football, costs how much? Marshawn Lynch runs people over with a football, right? It's the same in this industry. If you don't have the talent, then don't get in this industry. If you're not a people person, a people pleaser, you're not in hospitality, you don't understand promotion, you don't understand marketing, you don't know how advertisement works. These things are very crucial to your success, right?
But those are just skills, right? Like, how do you know if you have talent? Is that just experience?
Yeah, you'd first want to work for somebody like me and get some experience, and see what's the ins and outs, and then see if you actually have it before you just go throw a ton of your money into something that's not going to be successful.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest advice, is work for somebody first.
Yeah.
Right? See if you have those, it's like Michael Jordan, like he trained his whole life for it, right?
Right.
I trained my whole life to do this. Like I said earlier, I used to just pass out cassettes and CDs and promo materials. Then I started throwing parties at people's venues. And then I was like, oh, wow, I'm good at this, right? Maybe I should look more into the business side of it. And then I actually shadowed a guy named David Tran, which I was my boss at the time, and I promoted 3 of his venues for him, and just kind of watch how he did it, how he operated his business, what made him successful and what wasn't making him successful, right? And he had his own partnerships, and I watched his partnerships, and I learned a lot from that. But
you didn't just like jump into it, right? Like, you earned your way.
Yeah, any industry you want to get into, you want to own a car lot, be a car salesman, right? You want to own a bar, start, do something at the bar first and see from experience. I've had some of my managers open up their own bars, right?
Which is awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to see
that's
it.
Like,
and actually be successful at it.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's great to see. I love passing the torch on, right? But you can't just pass it to anybody.
Right.
You've got to have that same talent that I have, right? I'm not just a the owner of Xtadium, you know, I know how to do marketing very well, right? I know how to put
promotions and all of it. And just you're good with people.
I'm good on the computer. I know how to put advertisement. Right now, you know, like I told you, we have an event tomorrow. After this podcast, I will be at the house putting the advertisement together, working with different advertisers, working with different...
What's the event? Can you tell us?
We're doing an after party tomorrow for an artist named Playboy Cardi and his team and his DJ.
That seems like kind of fancy.
I mean, you know, it's going to be a tough pull by tomorrow.
You got 24 hours, Amir. You better get going.
Yeah, but typically we try to I keep my events pretty generic week to week. You know, just a fun venue that you could just go party at. I try not to advertise too many artists or special events at my venue, because then you just become dependent on those. It's not about you.
You can't stand on your own 2 feet.
If you can't stand on your own 2 feet in this industry, you're not going to be able to cover payroll, venue costs, insurance, cost of goods, I mean, people don't do all the math. You know, they're like, oh, rent is this. Yeah, rent is this much, but how about all the other 500 costs that come with it, you know, water, sewage,
heat,
insurance is just as much as rent. Right.
Exactly. So, speaking of insurance, do you have any like drunken celebrity stories that we need to know about?
We keep all those a secret.
I mean,
that's one of the things that we do is we don't,
because that's like a trade secret.
Yeah. Thing, we don't ever talk about the celebrities that show up. We try to keep them.
I mean, you could tell
as
me.
private as possible.
Tell anyone.
Yeah, we just tell it on the broadcast. To everybody. A lot of celebrities come by, right?
Is it good? Like, do you kind of roll your eyes when the celebrities come, or is it always like?
No, it's always happy times.
Do you roll out the red carpet?
Yeah, they know me personally.
Are they in the little VIP area?
We have very, VIP areas for them. You know, we have personal relationships with their management team. We try to keep them safe as possible. And
do they ever get rowdy?
I mean, we let them have fun.
Has anyone ever like broken a bottle of Cristal or something?
They've had, we call it having fun, right? So we try to make sure they stay safe and enjoy themselves and go home safely, right? That's the main part is.
Do they have like security and bodyguards and everything?
Yeah, I mean, some of them do and some of them don't, you know, and if they don't, we make sure that we have adequate security to keep them safe and making sure that they have a good time. That's the main thing is celebrities don't want to go to a place that's putting them on full blast, taking pictures of them, taking videos.
No, I get that.
It's just, and if you do that to them, you're just using them, right? I try to make my friends don't feel like I'm using them, right? It's like, hey, it's an open door. If you want to come. If you don't,
it's up to you.
Like if it's like an event like we're doing tomorrow where I'm paying for the celebrity,
that's different.
Then that's different. You know, they told me to do it, right? They want me to do that, so that's a little bit different. But that's a part of being, my successes is we have a lot of big name celebrities that come through and support, and they do spend ton of money and help out, you know, like,
and they probably post on social media and all of that.
Only when they want to, right? It's never
expected.
A lot of celebrities have done me favors, and some of them met their wives at my venue.
That's very romantic. Who?
David Benavidez just did a whole thing. You can look it up on YouTube. Where
I think I saw that.
Yeah, he met his wife at my venue. I introduced them. Now they have 3 lovely kids.
Wow.
He's the world champion of boxing right now.
That was on one of your websites, I think, wasn't it?
He has it also,
social media.
And he also posted it on his own.
Okay.
So yeah, it's, when they want to.
That's nobody got arrested, right? Yeah. It's a happy story.
A happy story. He came through, met the love of his life, now to have a happy family. I'm super happy for them,
really
right?
Great.
And he hit me up and was like, hey, I want to do a whole story about Xtadium and how me and my wife met there.
And there it is.
There it is, And,
but he asked you.
He asked
you
me,
didn't. That changes the dynamic.
Dynamics, When Marshawn Lynch says, hey, hey, bro, let's do a little video. I'm going to shout your place out. Super appreciative, but if I'm not gonna go out and make him do anything he doesn't want to do, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's just really cool to get to sit down and talk to you and learn about Xtadium and the drunken celebrities who you will not name, but that's okay. And really, congratulations on a decade in the bar industry, and congratulations also on inspiring people who have worked for you to go on and start their own thing. That is a measure of success.
I'm a leader that likes to lead from the back and push my team.
Yeah.
Not a leader, you know, not just sitting there in the front saying, you know, hey guys, come, you know, like, so
no, you want to inspire excellence and greatness in anyone who, and when somebody goes off and does something, you know, and you feel like you've had a little part of that success, to me, there's nothing greater.
Yeah, it's awesome to watch people become successful. That, you know, you passed the torch. Yeah,
that you've kind of have passed, you know, through your, you know, your life and your journey. And, you know, so congratulations. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And if you decide you want to dish on drunken people at your bar, just give me a call.
Of course.